This week on Big Eyes, we talk Tatsuki Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man. We talk about everything. It's all spoilers. So stay tuned for episode 115. Let's get it.
The Big Eyes Podcast.
And welcome back. We are here. I think this is the first time that we have been on a summer at Kame's House style event where we just, pull up, have some fun, relax a little bit, break away from the weekly discussion. As always, it's the Big Eyes Podcast. AD and LJ back at it again. What's going on, bro?
Yes, sir. Happy to do this. Like you said, it's nice to break away. It's nice to get a vacation from certain things. I can't lie, the weekly discussion was kind of starting to, I wouldn't say annoy me, but
Yeah.
sometimes it just gets difficult talking about weekly things.
Yeah, man. I mean, because,
No, I don't like talking about weekly things because sometimes it makes you feel that like my emotions are fickle because they like change a lot. But it's like when it goes week by week, is yeah, So like things change. Something that I really love can have a trash chapter, and I have to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
But it like doesn't mean that I don't like the as a whole. But usually I'm like, man, this shit's kind of ass. But no, we're here. Somewhere at Comments. I don't know if it's just Samurai Comments, Big Eyes edition, and obviously we have to kick it off. First week, we are talking about the illustrious Chainsaw Man, and there's only one person. There's only one person that can join us to talk about this. There's nobody else. Obviously, there's tons of Chainsaw Men fans out there, but there's one,
Yeah.
and y'all may know him from the War Report. I may know him from the other million thousand shows that he does.
Yeah. Most
Especially for the
recently,
A show.
most recently, the JoJo agenda here on the
The JoJo
lookout.
agenda. Come on, man. Listen, he done made his Lookout debut with his show. Is another Summer at Comics like a special edition thing that dropped. Like Summer at Comics, I was like, bro, we're throwing like a big house party right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really
But
going up.
it really is, man. I'm telling you, Oolong in the back, rolling the backwoods. Like it's really wild here. But y'all know him. He's been on here before. He's like the unofficial like other Big Eyes member. Cyrus was good.
That was a very long, lengthy intro, but I
It
appreciate
was. It
I
was.
appreciate all the kind words, man. But yeah, I'm here talking about Chainsaw Man once again. You guys put me on, and I never really got to talk about it, on here or anything. Because I finally checked it out once, you guys were all like done with it because I didn't want to get spoiled. So, hey man, I'm a big fan of Chainsaw Man. Fujimoto is probably one of my favorite authors right now. One Shot God.
Oh yeah, definitely the one shot guy. And obviously today's news of he's having another one shot published very soon.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing the artwork on it either.
Oh, he's not doing art. I mean, that's fine. As long as the storytelling is still there, then it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm here. Third member, I would say. What is it? The full council is here. The power ranking council is here. So
The power ranking council is here.
We have gathered today.
We're all in the room. We're gathered here. Like it's great. I'm happy that we're not here to talk power rankings because
ain't much has really been going on. So
that too. But our power ranking conversations go so left, and they're like we get really fixated on maybe like one thing at a moment in time. It's great.
Y'all read everything, and then I probably read like 5 things. So when y'all be talking about shit that I don't read, I'm just like, well, did the story move forward? Then that's a plus. That's it. As long as the story moves forward, then I'm all good with it.
Nah, yeah, it's great to get your perspective, like you said, because you only really read five things, but like the five things that you're into, like you have very cohesive like
Yeah.
thoughts about them.
Yeah,
So I'm like, okay, like he will give us like another opinion on these five things, because I mean, it were once again we were really thinking about Shonen Jump and stuff. There really is like only 9, 10
Yeah.
mangas that really are mattering on Shonen Jump right now. Not all of them,
yeah,
but like I said, the five things that you read, they're consistently either on the top eight or at least three of them are going to be in the top
Shit.
eight.
They're
yeah.
So,
updating at
Majority
least.
rules, goddamn. Like,
nah, it's great. But no, like you said, we're here to talk about Chainsaw Man. Something that when you first read Chainsaw Man or first started tapping in, did you truly think like, yo, this is going to become something like as big as it did?
Shit, I sure fucking hope so. But when I first read it,
Because when I first started reading it, I was like, "Oh, this is too off the wall."
oh,
Like at the
absolutely.
time, like because you got to think about like really where it comes in at. Where right now the what's big right now in Shonen, this is completely like left field from it,
yeah.
and I don't know if it's more so because it's how left field it is,
I
or
before I'll just cut you off, and I would say is that remember what I this is I probably said it like in a group chat. I don't know if I ever said it on a microphone or anything like this, but like Shonen Jump, the face of it is all your shonen, your battle warriors, all that other shit. The shit that keeps that shit going, like you know, a lot of the manga just talks about family, love, and life, all that stuff. And I think Chainsaw Man, like, it's up there where Denji finds this like found family, his humanity in a sense, just like emotions and shit like that. So like behind all like the crazy off the wall shit, you got like the true lifeblood of what Shonen Jump got going on, and it's a lot of authors just talking about life.
Yeah. I think in that same aspect, it kind of because on rereading it, like because when I first read it, it was probably like 60 or 70 chapters in. But upon
Mm-hmm.
rereading it, it just really hit me like this is one of those things like Hunter x Hunter, where the overall goal is like whatever your dreams are. And everybody in Chainsaw Man has like different dreams and aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
And we see from like the beginning with Denji, he's like his dreams are very simple, man, and he accomplishes them very quickly. And throughout the course of the story, he's just trying to figure out like, well, what else is there that I can do? Like, I got to dream
Mm-hmm.
bigger because you even see like with some of the characters, they ask Denji about his dreams and aspirations, hobbies, and everything, and he still keeps it simple and clean. But that's one of those things with Chainsaw Man compared to like other manga where you really can't talk about like the dreams of things. They hit on that, and that's one of those big shonen tropes. But I think Chainsaw Man does it in a very extreme and different way, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you really got to find your what you really want out of life.
Yeah.
no, yeah, I think what both of you guys are saying is correct, especially when you're talking about the like the My Heroes, the Black Clovers. Even though we love it, like the Jujutsu Kaisen, like it's the vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
but the real gas that's making that car run is it is the blue boxes, is
Yeah, it's
the
your
the
blue
Chainsaw Man,
boxes, spy families,
the Spy
Sakamoto
Family,
days
Yeah,
to an
but
extent as well.
yeah, because like you said, I think those things are able to like story wise tap into something a little bit different. Like they
Mm-hmm.
don't have to play so hard in like certain tropes. They don't have to play so hard in a power of friendships and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Now granted it's still in there,
yeah,
but I think that they're able to kind of just go, okay, like obviously since we're not the forefront or have to be the forefront, I think there's probably even a little less pressure of just being
Yeah.
like, all right, let me just have fun with this story or like really play with this storytelling and what we can do with it. But no, but like we said and have talked about many times before, um, Fujimoto is really in a league of his own when it comes to storytelling. I think Chainsaw Man is truly one of those things, especially when you look at Denji's development as a character,
Mm-hmm.
like especially as a main character, because honestly, when you meet him, and I think for probably more like for more
Majority of
than
the
half of the
story.
story. Yeah, for more than half of the story, like he's even admitted to it of just being like my like his and like the reasonings behind his things are very shallow. It's like he
Hmm.
wants like he's doing things for basic things,
And
whether it be like sexual pleasure or like you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
whatever quick endorphins that he can get is like that's what he wants. But like when you once again you see from where he started, you will truly understand of like why these basic things are something that are actually truly big to him.
Yeah,
And as he continues to meet other people and meet other characters and got other supporting characters, by the end of the story, you kind of see like it's weird. Like it feels like it happens like underneath layers, but like his growth ends up being kind of tremendous of like how his thought process is.
yeah. You see Denji grow up pretty like fast, and has to develop
Yeah.
to these feelings and emotions that he has. Like, what is he? He's only like 16.
yeah,
16, poor as shit. So he's just like, at first is just eating food and then like possibly like having relationships, and then he like starts finding his family, and then starts caring for them, and like then he really has to start caring for them, like actually like taking care of them, due to the line of work being so dangerous and stuff like that. And then when that's all taken away from him, he experiences like a lot in such a short time, like grief, death, love, family, all that. And then he grows up really fast, and I think that it's really interesting to see how Denji kind of like takes that all in, like the chapter where he has to just go, where him and Makima just go on a date to the movies, because he sees people dying, but like he doesn't necessarily care.
yeah. I think that's one of those things where it's like he grew up with so many people. Well, not that many people around him because he starts off with his father's debt, and he has to
Hmm.
work to be a devil hunter with Puchita to kind of make it out. And once we get out of that, when he first gets introduced to Makima, we just see like in the beginning she it's a funny thing where she treats him as a dog, and that's kind of the theme throughout the story. Like you're pretty much working for someone, then you're essentially a
Her being the real villain was something that you could kind of like
yeah.
reading
Oh,
it again. You
absolutely.
kind of like you're like that woman is not who she's like. You're like this is the
What
one you need to watch out for.
when she got shot up in the train, and then she came
Man,
back and said, "Yes, hands up."
Yeah, for real.
Um,
They're like you're like what the fuck is wrong with this one?
when she has the people like lined up and she doing the hand signals and she making people just go splat, I said that's not the powers of a good guy.
no, not at all.
That's not something. That is not the powers of somebody that like is righteous and whole has.
Well, even like even you go back to the beginning when she first teams up with is it when Denji teams up with Aki for the first time or Power where she's talking to her higher ups
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
they're like remember that these people are tools and like these people like you don't be getting your feelings caught up or whatnot. And it's like it's like one of those things where you kind of you look at it and you're like, there's a reason why they put her in this position
Hmm.
to like run this team. Like
yeah,
you're not a normal person to just run a team like this, and then also the orders that are giving her like once again, it's like there's a certain personality type that is not good. Like you know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
was like, she's not a good person.
When
So it's
when we find out what kind of devil that she is, I don't know if we're going all spoilers or not, but when we find out what kind of devil she is, I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I was
yeah,
just like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
no,
know
we're
why.
going full
I was
blown
just like,
spoilers. It's full blown. This is a spoiler
okay.
filled
When you
episode.
find
Yeah,
out that she's like the control devil, I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a good guy power.
It's not. But then it kind of like you go back and you try to think a lot about of how much was she using her powers without us really noticing.
yeah.
And I would say in the first the first two chapters alone, um, she talks about how good her sense of smell is.
Hmm.
I think that being foreshadowed that early, fucking insane.
Oh yeah, for real. Like absolutely insane. Like it was like really the first, like you said, I say like the first 10-ish chapters. Like a lot is laid out,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and then you just see how things play out after. You're like, holy shit! You're like, this is
So much stuff before like Katana Man. Before you even
yeah,
see Katana Man, you kind of see the end or like how this end came to be.
yeah. And a lot of it is
you
really
do.
focused on like, Aki and his relationship with like, his backstory with how his family died to the gun devil and everything that goes on with that. And how Makima is like, you're really here to kill the gun devil, but at the same time, like you really can't quit either. Like no matter what you do, you
Mhm.
can't leave, you can't quit, you can't do anything like that. You're here to work for me. You're gonna be my dog. And she also ends up talking to the her higher ups, and she's like, well, I found two people that are interesting. One of them is, I think one of them was Denji, and the other was Aki. And
Mhm.
Aki, I want to talk about Aki for a little bit because like I really
That
enjoy
is
his character.
that is a supporting character right there.
That's a yes.
Yeah,
That is a real support.
yeah.
Like
But he
it's
also
a
feels like a
crutch.
main character at the same time
Mhm.
too, because it's like
He's
a
a good
lot of
friend.
it is based around him. Like he's probably in the beginning. I was like, man, fuck this nigga, dog. Like he's treating Denji like shit. But even like Denji with his get back kicking this nigga in the dick, I was like, all
I
right,
ca-
these,
I kind of saw where he was coming from. It was just like, all right,
yeah,
bro, come on now. This is a very dangerous
yeah,
line of
yeah,
work, bro.
Yeah, this is
yeah,
a dangerous line of work. Like he's like, I'm partnered with you. You over here worrying about if she got a boyfriend or not. I got my life on the line. I gotta trust that something pop off.
You feel
Like you
me?
gotta.
yeah,
It's it like how am I supposed to trust you and trust that?
yeah. But
Like we out in the field and you over here worried about titties. I'm like, whoa, come on, like what's going on
That's
here?
real.
you ever
That's
had a
real.
homie who's y'all ever be it before a game and y'all just like see y'all homie on the phone and then just like he probably swiping on Instagram, probably DMing his girl before the game, like nigga, get your head in the game, bro. Like we about to go out here and
It's
play.
not.
Like
It's not there. They're not there. But
yeah,
I think that I think what makes Aki such a great supporting character is that in terms of when you're thinking of Makima, and obviously since she's the big bad villain in this, outside of like he's the only other character outside of Denji that has kind of like this connection with her, and although it may not be, I think as it's like charged like Denji's like reasoning behind it, it's like it he actually like really respects Makima and he's really like no like she saved me, like he has like this real like care for her and really looks up to her in a weird way.
mm-hmm.
So when you go through his story you see that connection in contrast to Denji's connection with her, and then seeing how she flips on him
Yeah,
like
man.
towards the end when she flips on Aki, you're like oh shit, you're like god, like
The
you're like
flip, but
whoa.
the flip is crazy
Yeah.
because you get the the open the door scene, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get the revealing of her plot the whole time, where she does something so egregious to Denji, sits on his lap and just starts laughing at him, and then just being like, "Yo, I done fucked up your life."
Just destroyed it.
Yeah, I did that. Like, just flexing in his face. And then, Denji just wakes up the next day and he's just like, well, back to business. And then before, Denji can really, like, act, you get the real Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't deal
And
with any of those emotions until, like, much after.
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't. I like that. I like that they have a moment where Denji breaks.
Oh, and he breaks it.
And
He
Yeah.
how
breaks so
yeah,
often.
yeah. He
Yeah.
yeah, like he does, but it's just like it's like that moment where he turns into the real Chainsaw Man, like even his entrance when he comes in, it's just like
Oh,
this
yeah.
it
What is it?
easily one of the best panels too of the entire series.
Yeah.
Godly panel. But,
Yeah.
what is it? He breaks down after, I believe, the hotel thing,
Mm-hmm.
where he was just like, "Oh man, like I just seen a bunch of people like kind of get hurt or die." I forget, but it's
No,
it.
because that's when Kashibi attacks
Mhm.
Yeah.
uh he attacks Makima and he's supported by the Hell Devil, and then all she does is call for Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Um, and then he does the cool ass shit where he does the nothing personal or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and just shreds that
Yeah,
motherfucking ass. And then the chapter cover for the next one is just Chainsaw Man screaming, and I think that shit hard as
Yeah.
hell.
yeah,
No, it is. It's so tough. Like once again, you see like all this accumulation. I think that's just a moment of just dingy, like you said, breaking. But like I
yeah,
like how we deal with that kind of aftermath though. Like after all this,
yeah,
like he has this moment where he just blacks out and he's just like,
Hmm.
"Fuck it, I'm finna just let this. I'm finna just let the devil take over."
yeah,
And he has this blackout moment. But then like after that, you actually see him go through the yeah, like go through those emotions, like you said, like going through like, damn, like she really fucked me over.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
she had me. Not only did she have me kill my friend, she killed my other friend right in front of me.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think that's the crazy part where it's like we spend the entire story from like chapter one when he gets built up to meet Makima and joins the special division, and like he gets to meet all of these people and build relationships with them, like through their investigations and everything with the other devils. And then we just get to this point where he finally breaks down. I think the journey for Denji himself, like really discovering like all of these different things, learning to grow up, like you said, Cyrus, he really did grow up like really fast. Like he had to start learning to take care of these folks. Like he ended up having to bathe, power washer after Aki was
yeah.
gone, man. Like it was crazy how he starts to understand and care for all of the people around him. When I remember early on, he was like, I think it was after the Katana Man fight and everything, he was like, it's all of these people died from the gunfire because they were summoning the gun devil and everything. And he's
Hmm.
like, if all of these people die, I don't think I'd be that sad. Power, nah, she's kind of annoying. Aki, nah.
Hmm.
Makima, I might be sad for a little bit, but I don't think I'll be happy again. Like, and
Yeah.
then he starts to realize, like, maybe I lost my heart, my human heart as well.
Yeah.
So,
It's like dealing with the concept of like actually like dying is like kind of lost upon him because he pretty much can't. Um, and he doesn't realize that like once these people are gone, they're fucking gone, like for real.
Yeah,
And then
I think too, but like I mean, and also too, it goes back to the fact that like he's dealt with death and had to deal with these things
mhm,
from from the moment he was a child. Like, imagine your dad dies, you gotta hold on to your dad's debt. Like, you don't get to grieve that. Like, you
mhm,
gotta, he's selling
you going
body
straight to
parts, and
work.
he's, you know what I'm saying? He's selling body parts. He's doing X, Y, and Z just to try to pay off his debt. And I'm sure that, like, once again, you just look at it and you're like, there's never a moment where they're like, he's sad that his dad died or had to grieve when his dad died. Like,
mhm.
immediately, the
Um,
Yakuza was like, no, you gotta pay up.
and he doesn't have to deal with all like he deals with a lot of that, and then you see him like you see him mature a lot too. Like right after Aki's passing, he does all the responsible things with the money. He take cares of power, buys groceries, all that. Like you see this kid turn, like he's 16, but you see him turn like 35 in like a couple volumes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yo, you see him grow up, like, and like once again, I feel that a lot of like you see him really apply, like oddly enough, like the life experience,
Hmm. And
like
then
while at the age, like you said, of 16.
he at some point he couldn't take it, and then he was that's what leads him to go to Makima and just be like, hey man, can you make the pain go away? That boy
yeah,
hitting up the side holes, just being like, hey man, I just need to
Hey man, listen,
take my
he
mind
need
off
to take the
things.
edge off.
I need to take my
He
minds
need
off
to take,
things forever.
man, forever, bro. He was like, I need to hide to stay. I need to not feel nothing.
Hmm. Oh.
She was like, I got a little something for you. She was like, tie that rubber band around your bicep.
Hmm. And then fucking
But
kill.
then fucking destroys his life.
Hey man.
Like the, there's deeper meanings here,
Hmm.
yeah,
fellas.
yeah,
um, but no, going back to like even looking, one thing I really enjoyed about this story as a whole is the pacing of it, and I love the introductions of like the villains. Like I love like the arc structure
yeah.
of this.
Like everything
Like
feels kind of like flowing in like I think for me, it's like every chapter doesn't really end on a cliffhanger like it does, but then it seamlessly flows into the next arc. Like even with them getting out of the hotel from the Eternity Devil, they jump straight into the Katana Man stuff, and then you find out, oh shit, this nigga the grandson of the Yakuza nigga from chapter one. Like it's all flowing seamlessly into the next arc. We get multiple perspectives. We see Makima, what she's doing while we're with Denji. Everything just feels like it naturally progresses, and it doesn't feel like rushed or forced or anything. It all just happens because of that's the way that the story is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite transitions is going from the bomb woman to the assassination groups.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
I feel that transition between those two are crazy because like all right, so like obviously Denji, you know he meets Reese, and we figure out that Reese is is the bomb woman, is a spy for the Soviet Union sent to capture him. So obviously other people know who he is,
yeah.
and that's the first time we're like, oh, like they're trying to capture Denji, like what, like kind of why. um and then in that fight, it reveals his existence to the world.
Yeah,
Then you figure
you
out,
made the block way too hot.
yeah, then
yeah,
you figure out, oh, the Soviet Union ain't the only people that are looking for this nigga. Like,
yeah.
there's a
Mhm.
lot of people looking to try to kill this man right now, and you get so deep into that, you're like, wait, why is everybody trying to kill this guy? Like that starts kind of the allure of Chainsaw Man. It was just like I like how Denji gets gifted with this OP devil, but we never really kind of know why, and like how they revealed of like why he's so strong, and like what is like the backstory of
Mhm.
the actual Chainsaw Devil.
Yeah.
Like, and then figuring out that man, the Chainsaw Devil, was really in hell wreaking havoc. It
Uh,
was-
my friend asked me when we were reading this, they were just like, why is Chainsaw granted this power? Like, I'm pretty sure there's like other things that people fear that are way stronger than the chainsaw. And I was just like, man, Fujimoto just made it that way, bro. Don't question it.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it works. I think
Hmm.
it absolutely works. I think I couldn't see this like I couldn't, like if he was like the gun devil, it wouldn't work. I
Yeah,
don't feel
it
like
worked.
it wouldn't work. Anything else, it just Chainsaw Man, it just flowed. It just, like you said, it just somehow, some way, it just worked that way. Like,
I think it's all because of Jason. I think it's he had to be a
Uh,
fan of Jason, man. Something.
it was the Chainsaw Massacre that made him a fan of
Yeah.
Chainsaw
yeah,
Man and wanting to have like a chainsaw wielding protagonist. He takes a lot
and
from movies.
also
So.
that's what I'm saying. Like going back to Fujimoto, you go read this story. The movie references in here are absolutely insane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Public safety. What is it? Their outfit just what is it? It's a reference to Reservoir Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs, Public Safety. There was another one in here too that was really big.
Pulp Fiction. When
Yeah, Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction.
Power and Kobeni drive the car and then they killed the dude by accident. Um, that's the Samuel Jackson. I think. Who is it? John Travolta is in the
John
car. Yeah,
Travolta. Yeah, John
when they
Travolta.
blow out Marvin's head, and they're
Yep.
just like, "What the fuck you did that for, man?" Um,
I mean, I think it's great that all these movie references are in here.
mhm. I think that's what
Is
separates him from a lot of other writers, where a lot of other writers are like taking from either it's Japanese related thing or like culture related things, and then Fujimoto's just like, nah, I take a lot of like Western movie approaches to things, and I think that's what kind of separates him from a lot of other writers.
Side note, have y'all ever seen the Japanese Pulp Fiction movie poster?
Oh yeah, of course, that shit
I
hard.
haven't.
It's one of the hardest movie posters ever. I love it. I want to find a print of it, and I need it hanging up in the house.
Mhm.
Um, but no, like you said, I love how he does take these like Western influences and just pops them in here. And like the things that he are referencing, it's not like they're super deep cuts, but they are one of those things too where it's like if you are a movie buff, or if you are someone who also enjoys,
Mhm.
these things, you're gonna catch it. and it just makes the experience even better. You're just like, oh shit, you're like, that's you caught it from that or you got it from that. Then there's also the other reference in Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen. What's the
Oh,
reference?
the Black
Oh, when they
Flash
do the
little
I forget what it's called, but like the X slash thing, and they did it back to
yeah.
back on the on,
Yeah, yeah.
on the same
That
chapter.
shit was Yeah, that shit's tough. That shit was tough. But yeah, I love how he ties these like references. It's kind of like I love that because that really just I think Fujimoto like you feel that Fujimoto is putting a piece of himself in the stories that you read from him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like even with Dear Eerie,
Oh yeah,
like
that is
Yeah.
that shit might as well be a
like
biography of some sort.
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like you can like first of all he has already been open and honest about his love for movies and whatnot. It's just like now you have written a one shot about that.
Mhm.
I love
You kind of
I love even his references to his own work when we read
Hmm.
look back referencing Chainsaw Man with the door. Like it's I just love the like you said he's putting parts of himself within the story, and I think it's great.
yeah,
Um,
even back with like Fire Punch, I think like with the ending and the movie references to that, like you could just tell like he's just a fan of that culture, man. Like I think
yeah,
I think he's our age, man. I think he's like no older than 30, man. Like
yeah,
he's
he
really one of us.
has to be. I do think that he's very much a stellar writer, and the movie references are amazing. Like you said, like Goodbye Erie, where the, I think basically the end where she's just telling him where it's just like all your stories are like wrapped around reality in some shape or fashion, and then you just throw some fantasy shit in there. That's you.
Yeah,
That's exactly your writing style is like you are writing about probably just like a teen drama or like whatever, and then you will just add your own weird spin to it, and that's all his shit is.
hmm
Yeah. Um. Obviously, we have gotten speculation that Chainsaw Man Part Two is coming sometime within the summer.
Oh, I
They said summer.
I just
They
thought
said
this
the
year.
summertime. I think was the rumor was sometime this summer that it's supposed to come. Maybe in I don't know.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Chainsaw.
I mean it's not
Yeah,
even
I'm
technically
not.
summer yet, so I mean we we
We gonna see.
we gonna
We
see.
gonna
We gonna
see.
see what it looked like in August.
Uh, yeah, very true. But going into this was first of all, I love how they concluded as calling it part one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was such a genius move. Um, because it feels like he was able to tell a complete story, but
Yeah.
he leaves more to tell. But it doesn't feel like okay, like he's gonna keep like it's not continuous. Like he's
yeah,
like no, like this part of the story is done. Like part
Mm-hmm.
one is done.
yeah.
Part two is going to be something completely different than part one. Like and
I
then 98 chapters. The length is perfect. I love how he did that.
I know a lot of people, or when I was just diving back into Chainsaw Man in preparation for this, a lot of people didn't like that it's the reveal of, or like they got the reveal that it's only part one and like the story is continuing. Like they thought this was like going to be a definitive end, and I'm just like, motherfucker, you don't want no more Chainsaw Man? What are you talking about?
Listen,
So
man.
Like
like
what?
It gives me that like part movie feeling and part like
Yeah.
JoJo's feeling where it's like, maybe we can get a trilogy out of this. Like, of course, this first part is a complete story. And, if you don't want to continue it, that's all fine and dandy. But the fact that he has ideas and plans to keep the story going, like, you don't want to see what this man can think of after reading all of this 97
and
chapters,
think
man.
I'm
about the
Come on.
saying
end. And think about the end where Denji's at. His character is at in all his development.
there's
We
so
about to get teenage dad
you feel
Denji.
me?
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like you really get now your next part of the story. You're gonna get Denji, who is a part of society. Like
mhm.
he's beloved. No, like people know who he is. Like he's about to enroll in high school. Like there is different dynamics now. Like his life is completely different. It's like you don't want to see how he handles these
Yeah,
next
and like
Yeah.
group of challenges.
Denji's different now. You feel me? Like this is a different character. Just same
Yeah.
name. What is
Yeah,
it? Same beast, different animal, or whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think,
and I
Shout out to rest in peace to Kobe.
yeah,
yeah
it's gonna be really cool. I really do enjoy it. I think Fujimoto, like, this could be his JoJo, or like this could be his Star Wars, or you know, we can
Yeah, it
see this.
could be.
We could see this going until Denji's like an old man or whatever. Like, keep it going. I don't care.
yeah
Or even think about like the fact that the devils can get passed on.
Yeah,
yeah
So it's like even if something happens to Denji in part two, and like the Chainsaw Man comes back or Chainsaw Devil comes back as a different person, like there's
so
there's a
there,
continue
there's so much
like
to
a continuous
explore
aspect to it.
in this world.
Yeah,
I would say the same for Fire Punch, but at the end of that, the world disintegrates. So
yeah
the earth just crumbles away. Um, so even if it's not like, obviously, like, it has to revolve around Chainsaw Man, but like we have devils like in all around the world. You feel me? Like,
hmm
who are being used for various reasons
yeah,
too, by governments, by
or
gangs, by
just
like it's not
or just
like
untamed. Like, the concept of the devil just being like shit that people fear. Like, don't worry. Like, ocean devil coming. What is it? Hurricane devil. All sorts of shit.
unemployment
You
devil.
feel me? Police devil, nigga devil. All that shit.
It's just like there's a lot of different things that they can explore, but like once again, I think that what made part one such a great reading experience, such a great experience, is that Denji has a completely like at the end of this and going into part two, Denji has a completely different set of real life issues,
Hmm.
yeah
of real life things that he has to deal with. We've just seen him deal with like grieving and his own depression and like what does he want out of life and like all these things, and now at the end of it, like you feel that those kind of things have been answered and completed,
yeah
and now you're going into this part two of like, okay, like his real life issues are completely different.
Yeah.
Like imagine like you said, like he's fighting, he's still devil hunting, but now he has to like make sure the new control devil isn't going off and
Yeah.
wilding out, or I'm saying, now he's in the public spotlight. Like how is he
Yeah.
handling the public spotlight now of like people knowing who he is? There's just a lot of different like struggles and things that he has to deal with now that I'm excited to see in this next story.
Yeah. Also, just like what made it a great read is, all the supporting characters. I feel like they all did a great job doing what they had to do, and the consequences of motherfuckers' actions are not retracted.
yeah
So,
Yes, yes,
yeah
yes.
Aki's not
I
coming
love
back.
that.
Power is gonna come back, but it's not gonna be power.
yeah
Like, there's consequences. Like, when they seen the Darkness Devil and everybody got their arms chopped off, and those arms remained off.
hmm
Come on, man, shit real.
yeah
Hey man,
there's no power of friendship to that. Like, there's power
Mhm.
of friendship, but it's like to get through the struggle. You can't like revert it. You can't like come back from that. Like,
And
and I think that's one of them things that like Chainsaw Man does really well. Is like, yeah, you gotta keep it pushing, man. Like, you gonna struggle, man. You gonna have these problems, but at the end of the day, you're gonna keep pushing. You gotta keep fighting through everything that you're feeling. Like, even with, and that's what I love about Denji's whole breakdown thing, where it's like, yeah, he didn't want to feel that struggle no more, but like in part two, we're gonna see him like, all the aftermath and how he's feeling. Now we might see him play that mentor role, even though he's still learning and growing
yeah,
because he only
um,
knows so much.
we're gonna see a lot of things. Like, what is it? He already made that power to promise. To, that promise to power to like find the next like blood fiend or whatever, whatever she
Mhm.
gets reincarnated as, and then like, she's not the only person that's gonna be reincarnated. So we're gonna see
yeah,
a lot of characters come back in probably like different iterations and stuff like that. So, um, it's gonna be cool, man. Like, this next, whatever the next generation of devil hunters, weapon hybrids, or whatever they're called, come back.
yeah. It's gonna be great, like you said. Like in the introduction of the new and whoever comes back, and like how that's gonna be changed. It's a great mix. Like part two is, I have very high hopes for part two. I don't see either like the expectations are high for it. I don't think they're gonna be unreasonable though. for what part 2 can
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that like it's so you don't know how he's gonna go with it. Like I can't even like if I'm like, okay, what do y'all think? Like, what's the story gonna be in part 2 or anything? Like I can't even come up with an idea
Uh,
of like what part 2
Superhero
may or may
fighting.
not be.
He's the neighborhood's crime fighting like Spider-Man,
the government
but
is gonna be
like
on his ass. That's for
yeah,
damn
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. Like government might get involved. Like what is that gonna look like? Is he still gonna have assassins and other people on his head? Like
a Devil
Yeah,
Alliance mercenary
for
group.
sure.
Oh
Like
man,
the hunt for Chainsaw Man, I don't think it just ends because Makima died. So I think the government is going to be a big villain here. Even with Kishibe still being in public safety, but shit, we didn't even talk about him a lot, but
yeah.
um we could see a
oh
lot
he
with
had
that
to
going on.
if I was Keisha Bay, I would have been retired, bro, after this shit.
Oh, he got to keep it pushing. He got to
I
fight.
think bro, I'd have been retired. I'm like, fuck this. I'm moving. I'm out.
um
Like, that nigga look, he's stressed. That man
Yeah,
is
that
stressed
boy already
the
got the
fuck.
white hair. What is it? He's young. He's younger than what is it? Quan I forgot how you say his name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
like
they grayed
that
up.
man is stressed. He's like, fuck this. He was like, he's smoking a pack a day.
hmm
He's on
He
his.
a
He
big
might fuck around and be on this Post Malone,
he
80 cigarettes a day.
he a big drinker already. But going into like Chainsaw Man 2, like what do you guys are like hoping to see? Like two things you guys are hoping to see.
Um, two things I'm hoping to see.
I'm really hoping to see like what kind of person the control devil is being inhabited by. Like, what is her relationship with Denji now? Like, how are they interacting in part 2? I think that's gonna be like something big for me. Like, I want to see that like out the gate. Like, what? Because she's the control devil still. Like, does she have a part of Makima in her? Like, what's going on here? Like, how is she behaving?
Um, to that I would say, remember, Makima had contracts with like other devils that we never found out who they were. So
Hmm.
we
Yeah,
might see Nayuda, whatever the little girl name is. Sorry if I'm blanking on the name right now.
nah,
But
it's Nayuda
okay. Um we could
or
see
Nayuda.
we could see a different move set from her per se.
Oh yeah, she could. Um, I'm really interested to see how Denji is handling the fame.
Yeah,
Like, how is he handling? Like, how is that changing? Like, and how does that play a role in the bigger story? Like, is Denji becoming like? Is he letting it get to him? Is it he's fine? Like, F it, I have everything I want. Like, is he able to you know, eat all the good food and be all the women that he wants to be? And like, is he feeling like, and how does that play a role? Like, how is he handling being in high school and being this public figure? And how does the way he handles this? What are the consequences for it? Because there's definitely going to be some consequences,
yeah.
good or bad. So like, I'm really wondering like how to like what role is that going to play in it? How about you? Where are you part 2? What is something that you're anticipating or wanting to see, Cyrus?
I want to see uh more Kishibe and more Kobeni fighting more or less. Like I want to see them get some static and catch some bodies because never forget Kobeni almost put Katana Man in the pack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was almost backward season for my
and
man's.
we still don't know what makes her so special.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that we want to see. Before we kind of wrap this up, we haven't talked about it, and I just think that it deserves a discussion. First reaction when they went to hell.
Insanity. I didn't expect that to look like that. Like,
That's just my favorite arc.
Like you see the astronauts, like you like
That shit is really the most like polarizing like panel. Like that shit really like that shit is on all the promotion. It's a big thing that everybody talks about like we're doing right now. It's something weird and abstract and just like insanely like abnormal. I truly wonder what the reference to that is. Especially like with the astronauts like praying and shit. But them going to hell is the craziest shit ever.
I feel that's always like the turning point for everybody when they
Yeah.
read this.
Yeah,
Of
this
just
shit's hard.
like they're like, oh, this is like crazy, like it's wacky, it's weird, and that happens. They're like, no, like I'm really like this is really different. Like this is really like insane right now.
it is so fucking cool.
Because think about like what everybody else would think hell looks like. Fire.
Fire,
You know what I'm saying? Like spikes
circles.
everywhere. Like it's a big ass nigga with a pitchfork. You know what I'm saying? Like you would expect that, but like the fact that it's like a whole bunch of doors, it really feels kind of like weird. Like what the fuck? Like how are we here? Like what's going on?
It feels scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like hell as fire isn't scary to me. I would just probably be like, man, it's probably annoyingly hot down there. Like like I said, like damn, it's probably hot as hell in hell. But like this, it made hell feel like this is terrifying.
Yeah,
Like I would couldn't imagine like waking like it's like a haunted house. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just like every way you turn, there's just something there that's just like installing fear into you.
you could
yeah,
feel how like I don't know if like when they got like transported to hell or whatever, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be like the next part of the fight or whatever. And then like every devil that is there is like freaking the fuck out, and they're terrified. Quan Chi, like all her girls are like, oh, can I like off myself right now? Like I really don't want to be here right now. Like
yeah,
Yeah, it's just like
point
fuck this,
is
I can't do
it's
it.
pretty fucking terrifying. And for all the humans that were there to not stand a chance at all, I love that.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It was great. It was absolutely great. Okay, one last thing, then we're gonna wrap it up. The setting and timeline of the story as a whole takes place in 1997. It's cool that he does he does stuff like the Soviet Union still exists.
hmm
It's
Revisioning of
obviously
history.
alternate. Yeah, it's like revisionist history, like things like the Holocaust like haven't happened. Like there's like
Yeah.
certain big events that don't get alluded to.
hmm
Um, this next story obviously is probably gonna take. I think part two is probably gonna take a couple years after. Do you want him to kind of lean more into like what early 2000s or like what that time looked like?
Uh,
I, w- I wouldn't mind seeing like a 1999
Because I've
like 2000 like a Y2K. I
yeah.
feel like that's where it should start. Like
yeah, like
that would
a
be a big
Y2K,
thing.
like like it's the turn of the millennium. Like is
What
that
is
gonna
it?
play a role in like what does that mean? Like every 1,000 years, like a new devil appear. Like there's something
Technology.
like
What is it? Y2K, the fear of technology, and then we get like computer devil or some shit. Like that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
Iris
that
Devil,
would be crazy.
goddamn, like
hmm
bird flu devil or something.
What is it?
Yeah,
Uh,
We would probably have recession devil, you know what I'm saying?
uh,
a recession devil. Oh man, but no, Cyrus. As always, I appreciate you, man, for pulling up on the Big Eyes podcast. Obviously, man, listen, we raved about it, we talked about it. We don't got anything for season one just yet.
It's still
I,
coming though.
I'm
We're waiting.
I'm cool. I'm a JoJo fan, so I'm used to waiting for things. So um, it is what it is.
I'm still pushing for an October weekend
Uh,
or a Halloween weekend release.
honestly,
I
Yeah.
think that would just be
the
perfect.
fact that part two is even rumored to be in the summer, I was just like, hey man, that's kind of too soon. But it's been like 2 years already.
Yeah.
so
And the fact that he's already working on like so many different things, like this man is the one shot god right now, man.
I
Like,
think his pen is great, man. Like he's a really good writer, man. I if I were to be a writer of any sort, like this is like somebody that I would kind of like model my kind of like bullshit after.
No, man, Cyrus writing a manga would be amazing.
Hey man, and hopefully
I
we
don't
can,
even.
we can make it happen.
Hopefully we could. But nah, Cyrus, thank you so much for
yeah,
pulling up
man.
on
Much
us.
love.
Make sure y'all listen to the War Report. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon where he does a whole bunch of other things on there. Spot callers. Were you doing? You're doing another show too, right?
There's another show in the work where we do the G show where we talk about a round robin tournament that takes place in Japan. But we're gonna see if we're gonna do that this time around this year. But
For sure.
check me out on the JoJo Agenda. It's
JoJo Agenda, the new
Yeah.
lookout show.
yeah.
The show list is going
We're
crazy.
not I it's probably gonna be like kind of on and off. sporadic posting of the episodes. But we're doing part three. Part three is being recorded very soon. So when we put it out, who knows?
We love to hear it. And as always, make sure y'all following the Lookout RNC and make sure you find RNC Radio Live wherever you favorite social media platforms and wherever you listen to podcasts. AD, what's our sign off?
You already know. Please read more manga, watch more anime, and be on the lookout. Only on the lookout for the Big Eyes podcast.
And we at Kame's house,
Yes,
so
sir.
come check us out.